How can the Buffalo shooter plead not guilty when he streamed his murders?
Not guilty is not necessarily the same thing as I didn't do it. It can also mean I did do the thing, but the thing I did is not the crime I'm accused of.
Because, no matter how obvious it seems that you committed the crime, you're still allowed to plead not guilty and make the prosecutor prove that you did it.
By reason of mental illness, or having something else to blame it on is my guess. It doesn't mean he is saying he didn't commit the crime, it's more so a way of saying he did do it, but his lawyers are going to present an argument as to why it wasn't his fault. This is the best of my very limited understanding, so take it with a grain of salt.
Procedural issues aside, New York doesn't have the death penalty, so he's looking at 10 life sentences, no matter what he does. No real incentive to plead out unless they can get the state to offer better incarceration conditions. An insanity defense is going to be very hard, given that he described in advance what he was going to do and why. And I might rather do my time in a New York prison than a public mental hospital, but then, I'm not a lawyer.
Judge can't accept guilty plea on felony charge during initial hearing/arraignment. People plead not guilt so they can go to trial in hopes of being found not guilty. Insanity defense.
Easy answer, it is procedural to try to mitigate punishment and explore all legal options and rights afforded to the defense. It isn't necessarily a literal "I didn't do it."
Crazy.
Because in America you are innocent until proven guilty. You can always say not guilty regardless of any fact. Now the prosecutor will have to prove you are guilty. Which in this case, depending on what they want to charge him with, could be very easy or slightly more difficult. Proving intent can be a pain in the ass, so they may just go with the slam dunk case.
That kid is pathetic. The sooner he is forgotten the better.
As I understand it, if he pled guilty he'd forfeit the right to a trial. Therefore saying not guilty doesn't mean he's innocent. Just that he wants his right to a trial. Pleading not guilty isn't testifying that you didn't do the thing. It's just requiring the prosecution to prove every aspect of the crime rather than rolling over and confessing. If you just sit there not saying anything, as is your right under the Fifth Amendment, the court will enter a plea of not guilty for you. Because you didn't confess in front of the court at that moment. And that's all not guilty means. A defendant can make a not guilty plea, which means the defendant denies committing the accused crime or, and this is important, one of the facets of the crime. By pleading not guilty, the defendant will actually go to trial and force the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt every part of the offense. I'm seeing a lot of people discussing plea deal options and such. But there's another possibility to consider. This POS live streamed his racially motivated shooting, and there is a sizable online footprint he left that shows he wants to be an inspiration to those like him. There is a strong possibility that he could just want his day in court so he can spout off about his racist propaganda and it be on record. You stand up there and say, not guilty. Same reason my lawyers had me plead not guilty at hearings on things I clearly did. It's just a tactic. If they know you're going to fight the entire case, they'll try and get you to sign a deal. There's no reason to plead guilty. You're innocent until proven guilty. Why would you do the prosecutor's job for them? Just because someone is not guilty in the U.S. system does not mean they are innocent. A lot of trial defense is about ensuring procedural controls are used. The state has a specific methodology and law it has to follow in order to legally prosecute someone. And failing to follow those procedures could, and has, allowed otherwise guilty people to walk free. The point isn't always whether the person in question did or did not do the thing, but whether the state read his rights, allowed a lawyer in timely fashion, upheld a standard of evidence gathering and storage, etc. When you read about someone getting off on a technicality, it's usually related to the state's mishandling of the case. The best way to deal with the U.S. justice system is to just lie.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.